musician and art director. If those of you who follow the musical Storm, he used to be on Storm as well. He's actually from France, so if you want, our workshop finish about 1 o'clock. You can meet up with Paul, have some lunch. 2 o'clock you can come back in. It's a free event, and you get to meet Pascal. So you're going to be doing a bit of the body percussion with him as well. So spend your whole day at Mind Valley, free interns. And without further ado, let's just welcome Paul on stage.
We'll get there in a moment. Meanwhile, you just see how it goes. Right. So, how many of you have been in a program with me, like Rock Your Business or a Kickstart? Anybody heard me talk before? Wow, cool. So, you guys are in for something new. And hopefully, often people think new things are frightening and scary. Well, no, this is going to be fun. And that's why you're in these kind of booth cushions having fun already. Now, first of all, I want to thank Maverick and Kickstart and of course Mind Valley for this truly awesome environment where anybody who comes here always kind of just says, wow, and wants to come back. So, welcome and thank you to basically our sponsors, Maverick, Kickstart and Mind Valley. So, how many of you want to make, want more money for your business? Alright, how many of you do not? You have enough money? Oh, damn. How many of you want great talent for your business? How many of you don't want any good talent? Okay. Yeah, get a bit loud. So that's great. And basically you're in the right place. We're here to do accelerated planning. You know, there's all these books you see on planning and they are incredibly boring. What are they? Boring. And what I've done over the years is worked out how to do all this stuff super fast in an accelerated way, which is a lot more fun. And in a few hours, you get it. You get a wow moment, you get basically your business plan. Now, what I'll do is share with you why that plan is important. And it's because of the two reasons. You said you wanted more money. That's how you get money. Investors need a plan. They can't come to you and give you money if you don't have a plan. More importantly, what are you going to use that money for? You're going to buy some things. What kind of things do you buy or hire? Put a clue there. In the shadow. What do you hire with money? Talent. So actually, and that talent has a choice. Do they work for you? Or you? Or you? So they give the dollars, which makes them decide who they work for, because you're all going to pay them much the same amount of money. So the difference, the deciding factor is, again, your plan. But as I come into it, it's not just the paper plan, it's your purpose in the business. Are we inspired by what the business is doing? You as the founder had a big why, we call it. A purpose, a passion as to why you set up that business in the first place. So those two things are the compelling reasons why talent will be hired and join your business. The business purpose and your heart, your big passion as to why you want to be in business in the first place. Does that start to make sense? Cool. And so what we want to do is work on those things. The purposing, the passion, and of course the plan. Because even if you inspire people to come and be on your team, I want to be on your team, I want to be on your team. And then you say, great, you're on my team. And after a while, they say, well, what do you want me to do? But you're on my team. Yeah, it's good. What do you want me to do? Very soon they'll kind of scratch your heads, get bored, and walk. And that's where the plan kicks in. There's no point having great talent or money to buy stuff unless you actually have a plan and know what you want the talent for and what the stuff is you're going to buy. And then out of all that, you're going to make something, a product or a service. And that goes to the customers, which is the purpose and passion. So if you're not in action doing something, very quickly you either just spend all the money on stuff you don't actually need, and the talent will get so bored they'll just leave. So the plan is essential to get you into the first steps of motion, moving forward to your goal and activity. Okay, I don't want to talk very much. It's all about you guys working on a unique tool. And so I need to share with you a little bit of a few slides just to kind of get you all on the same wavelength. And then you guys will be working together in groups in a really dynamic, interactive way. Now, will that be cool or will that be cool? Good, I'm glad you agree. Now, more technology. And there's buttons, but there's only black ones. Okay, something that Confucius said. There's lots of stuff about how you learn more if you participate, and in the application form we asked a question at the end, are you willing to participate at 100%, and what did you all say you would? Yes, I think it was hell yeah. So this is just building that. Confucius a while ago, modern psychologists, occupational psychologists, key trainers in California, all around the world, they all say the same stuff. If you hear it, you kind of forget it. If you see it and then you start remembering, but if you do it, you remember it and you start to understand. So what I'm going to share with you today is a planning tool. But the whole point of going through this is once you've done the tool, you actually know how to use it in the current business or your next business time and time and time again. And you can keep reviewing and upgrading and refining your own business plan, which you will leave this room with at the end of the day. So I'd just like to read it all together out loud from the top. As a group, I
I
hear
never
and I
forget. See and I remember when I understand.
thank you. Now, businesses fail. So this is just to show you the stuff which goes into, let's say, a business plan. You've got your vision and your goals, the execution plan, the actions you're going to take over next year, the big milestones you want to achieve, quarter by quarter, 6 monthly, yearly, 3 yearly. And then you've got to have a thing called KPI, things you actually measure and report on. Now, the things you measure and report on is simply, if you want to drive from here to Penang Island, you kind of have to first of all know which way you're going on the North-South Highway. And there'll be road signs saying north, south. Key performance measure indicator. If you're on the highway going the wrong direction, you kind of have to make sure you know you're heading north if that's where you want to go to Penang Island. That's as simple as it gets. Is when you're in business, you've got to set milestones which you measure and report upon to know if you're going in the right direction. And the right direction is whether you are on your plan you set yourself. Simple milestones, simple road posts. And the reason most businesses fail is a combination of these things. If you don't have that vision, the real purpose and passion, you spend the money on stuff. Your talent's going to come, board, go. If you don't have the plan, you don't really know what you're doing. Does anybody remember seeing Alice Through the Looking Glass? Anybody remember that kind of movie or read the book? Anybody read books? One person reads a book. Okay, that's a start. In there, there's the famous Cheshire Cheese cat. And the cat is kind of a bit of a wise person. And Alice in Wonderland is lost in the forest. She comes up to a crossroads. She comes to the crossroads and kind of thinks, well, I don't know, which way do I go? And then the Cheshire chap vaporizes, first of all, the smile, and then the rest of the cat. Because that's the kind of way he likes to do it. Not like Star Trek, where it all happens in a tube. these kind of cats do it for smile first. So the cat appears, has a little dialogue, and then says to kind of Alice, well, what are you up to, where are you going? She says, well, I'm at the crossroads, I don't know which road to take. He says, well, where are you going? She says, I don't know. So who can say what the Cheshire Cat said? Absolutely. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter which road you take. Same here as the plan. If you don't know where you're going to those goals, it doesn't matter what's in your plan, you're never going to get to those goals or any other goals because you're just randomly walking, spending money, wasting time. So just a few things as to how this works, and then some numbers. If you get everyone right, it's a multiplication. So you get kind of everyone okay, and you get 100%. If you only kind of get it 80%, now is 80% a good pass mark or is it kind of close to a fail? 80% is close to a fail. Okay, fair enough, everybody has their own standards. So if you're 80%, 80% usually is a pretty good mark. Go through, multiply. You get 80%, a good mark in each of them. Visioning, da-da-da. You only end up with 40%. Now, is 40% generally a pass or a fail? Yeah, fail. And then likewise, you go all the way down the bottom and you're kind of at the failure level, 35%, so yeah, you're just scratching your way through. You might pass, you might not. Net result of that multiplication is you definitely failed. But the fortunate thing there, at just at 1.5%, is you fail bloody quickly. The middle one is the valley of death. You're going to be in running that business for 1, 2, 3 years, and you know it's not working. Staff come, staff go. You're stressed. The wife's stressed. The pet goldfish is stressed. Everybody's stressed. And there's only one inevitable thing that's going to happen. You're going to fail. So the real problem is in that middle bit. You don't want to be in the valley of death. So let's move on, see what else we've got in the slides. Oh, beautiful thing. In a business, and that represents the letter B in the center. A business only has 5 contracts. Now, anybody know what is the essence of fulfilling a contract? I don't know if we have any lawyers or somebody did business admin. What's the key essence? There's 2 parts of a contract, a final part of the fulfillment of a contract. Any shout outs? Anybody know? Yeah, could you say it a bit louder? Offer and acceptance. Okay, that sets up the contract. Fulfillment. Delivery. Okay, and there's another other half. You deliver, what does somebody else do? Yeah, it's part of delivery. Delivery and accept, there's another bit. This is kind of pretty important if you're in business. Yeah, it's delivery and accept. You get the money. The customer takes the product, they give you the money. That's fulfillment of a contract. Okay? So there's lots of stuff beforehand, but fulfillment is always you actually deliver the product service. They say, great, done it, here's the money, paid you. They may pay you up front, they may pay you later, but basically you deliver, they give you the money. That's the essential part of every contract. Now, the nice thing about that is that means it's measurable. Product. You make a widget, you sell it to a customer, it physically goes from my hand to the hand of the customer. Their dollars physically moves from their hand, their bank account, to my hand, my bank account. Physically, there's that movement in every contract. Now, the great thing about physical stuff is you can measure it. Something like a percentage or a dollar on a bit of paper you can't measure, but they're concepts. But physical things you can actually measure. And that's very, very important in planning. Planning is all about the physical things that move around. It is not really about the dollars. And I'll just go back a little bit. Can I tell you a little bit more about my past? Great, thank you. Mary introduced me. Yeah, I did the largest initial public offering in the world. Now, initial public offering is you get a company, you go to investors and you list it on the stock market, Bursa Malaysia, Singapore Exchange, Australian, NASDAQ, whatever. So I was involved in going around the world promoting a company called Telstra. That's equivalent to Telecom Malaysia, Axiata. And when I did that, that ended up as being the biggest initial public offering in the whole world. We sold about 30 billion Australian dollars, which is around a third. Once it was listed, it was then worth 80 billion Australian dollars. Now, in that process, I went around and talked to all of the major investors in the world, all the big names. Heard of Capital, Fidelity, Templeton, companies like that. And there's other ones like Calpers, Ontario Teachers. These are the public service pension funds. So probably the biggest money in the world is actually in pension funds. So what's a pension fund here in Malaysia? Yeah, they have a lot of money. And whose money is it? It's your money. But the whole point is they're going to invest it to get a dividend or income tomorrow to pay you your pension. So they want kind of very conservative, reliable investments, which is going to pay reliable dividends and income to be able to pay you all your pensions in 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years' time if you've saved the money to buy bionic knees and bionic cars. So, do you think I learned a lot about investors? Yeah. And so I learned about the investor mindset, what the big institutional investors want. And also in Australia, I went and talked to all of the high net worth individuals. We call them the mum and pop investors. Now, mum and pop investors, they might kind of put in $1 million or Aussie dollars. So they're not kind of small, because I wouldn't talk to the little guys, I talk to the high net worth ones. And from them, I also learned about what was in their investment mindset. And again, all of these investors had one simple thing. They want to know, what is your vision, what is your goal, and what is your action plan? Because all of that's going to create what money, profits, cash flow you're going to make tomorrow. And that is what I'm investing in, because if you execute your plan, the company's value will go up, and I make money. So it's very simple. Investors everywhere fundamentally are interested in the plan and having confidence that you've got a great plan and a direction you're going, and you've got milestones, key performance measures to know how you get there. So, bring that all together. All of that knowledge has come down to this simple thing of a business has 5 contracts. So, S, what do you think S might stand for? It's a contract. So, any shout, service, anything else?
Supply.
Suppliers. You're always going to be buying raw materials in, or outsourcing, or doing something, so you've always got suppliers. There's an agreement, there's a contract, they give you something, you give them money back. C, what does the C stand for? Customers, precisely. You give them your product, services, they'll give you the cash. E, employees. They're all kind of hired, salary, bonus, pensions, whatever. They do their stuff, give you their talent for money. I, investors. And it's both the bank or the equity investors. So the bank gives you money and they get their interest on it. An equity investor gives them money and they hope to get a capital gain or dividend. Last of all is the R. It's a little bit more tricky, so I'll just tell you one. That's a regulator. Every single business, you have to get a permit to be in business. It could be a telecom, which is my specialty area. You've got to buy 3G spectrum, get a license from SKMM in Malaysia to get a license to operate a mobile network. Coffee shop, you have to get a health and food and safety license to say you're clean, not too many cockroaches are possible. So everybody has to get licenses, permits, and depending on what business you're in, they can be little tiny ones or they can be huge things which can cost you billions of dollars. But again, there's a government agency, a regulator, where you basically give them usually a fee and they give you a permit back. We're going to use this model, SCRIB, quite a lot, so that's why it's been introduced. And what have we got left? And now to work. Now I'm going to use a tool called 9 Windows. It's a very, very simple tool. This comes from a Russian who spent 40 years understanding how the human mind works, and he came up with the theory of innovation. His name is Andrew Schuler, and you'll be able to find him in Wikipedia, and you'll find this thing around as well. And the beautiful thing about this guy is in Russia he studied something like 60,000 patents from all the patent offices around the world, i.e. inventions, ideas, to find out how many ways does a human mind come up with innovative ideas. And the answer is something like 42. There's only 42 different ways that a human mind can innovate. And he's codified them. And this whole process is called TRIZ. And in innovation, you have people called TRIZ masters. Now, to become a TRIZ master takes maybe 5 years, so there ain't many of these people around. And the companies who hire them are things like British Aerospace, the aerospace defense people, who need really smart innovation to save them hundreds of millions of dollars. So they have these special people called TRIZ masters around the world. So you can look that up, find out more about it. But this is his tool. It's been used in IT for the last 10, 20 years as well, business analysis in IT. I use it in just business, and I also put another level of thinking on it called systems thinking, which is about having an ecosystem, and that's what we'll be doing. Now, that's what it is. The little bits on, the little things there are representing 3M stickers. You're going to make a map, which is like the one on the board, but you're not going to have whiteboards because there's not enough space here. Otherwise you'd have them. But more importantly, I want you to take it home afterwards, and you can't take the whiteboard home. So you're going to make one like this. Okay? Now it's very simple. It's going to have this thing on the top, and it's called your company name on top. Not my company name, not your partner's. It's going to be your company name. Okay? And that's that bit, just in case it's not clear. And then it's going to be a window of 9 windows, but it's going to be slightly different because where the 3M stickers go, most of them go here and here and here, and less here. So it's a little bit distorted. So each and every one of you in a business is going to make one of these. How many of you are here as kind of 1, 2, or 3 people from one business? There's a few of you. Okay. If you're together with partners from the same business, you're going to work together on one sheet. How many sheets?
One.
Great, thank you. And let me explain what it's about, and then we can get into action. Future. Now, past. Now, in the profiling coming here, we got you to fill in a profile, and with many of you, I sent you emails back and forth. So has everybody filled in that kind of profile and submitted in case somebody slipped in who didn't do that pre-work? Is there anybody who hasn't done that? Could you put up your hand? Great. So everybody, let's do the other way. Everybody has filled it in and passed it back. Cool. So what we're going to focus on is the easiest way to do this planning is the future. We're going to start up here, and this is going to be the 3-year goals. And we start with the 3-year goals, and we're going to get 3M stickers, and we're going to put them in the map in a very structured but kind of fun way. Then after that, we're going to move back to the now and a little bit to the past. And then we're going to come back to the future and work from 3 years back to 1 year, back to today, and then we're going to do this thing called backward planning. But to begin with, we're just going to, for the first hour or so, just work collectively on getting clarity on the 3-year goals out here. Now, we're working in groups of 4 businesses, and some of those businesses might have 1, 2, or 3 people in. So you're going to have to organize yourselves a little bit later so that you each will make one of these guys up. Let's say there's 4 of you on the doof bags in a square, or you might think it's a circle, but you can discuss that later. And so each of you will have one of these made up, and then individually you'll do some work on 3M stickers, writing things down, and then you'll share with the other members of the group. And the purpose purpose of sharing with other members of the group is that in sharing your ideas, you hear their ideas, and it becomes clearer as to what your ideas are. And so it's going to be a nice little dynamic of where you're sharing your goals, and you can see, oh, that's a good idea, didn't think about that, and it will cycle through, and your plan will get very rich very quickly, so that you will leave here at the end of the day with a very high quality plan, better than what you came in with. And that's the guarantee, because the process will work. Any clarification questions on that at the moment? I don't think so. We haven't said too much yet. Okay, Tahia, thank you. Could you get the materials, this and some sticky tape, or yeah, show this, and just get that ready. But first, I'm going to sort. Who saw Harry Potter? Come on, who saw Harry Potter? So remember, at the beginning, he goes to school. He's 11 years old, and there's a sorting hat. I'm going to have to sort you guys. Okay? So please all stand up. Now, first thing I want to do is sort anybody who is in, what am I saying to myself? Oh, anybody who's basically purely in online business, if you can kind of come and stand to the right-hand side. Those who are, let's say, more or less purely in bricks and mortar, if you can stand on the left-hand side. Bricks and mortar product services. So, we kind of sort that way. And if you're confused, then you have to stand in the middle. As fast as you can, please. Okay, fantastic. Pardon? Okay, stand in the middle. What's it called? It's very painful to stand on the fence side. Okay, right, so you're sorted. Now, the next thing I want to do is, in your group, online, are you predominantly business to business or business to consumer? Now, for this sake, business to government is the same as business business. And if you're an NGO, you have to decide. And how many NGOs we got? One? Okay, just quickly, who is your kind of core thing? Are you providing big infrastructure like homes or mainly volunteers? Sorry? So infrastructure, houses. Okay, you're more of a business to business type thing. Because if it was, let's say, helping people as volunteers, your core thing you're going to do is get people, which is then more business to consumer. So you're in the kind of businesses. Okay, so having done it, you now split between whether you're basically like harming of the ocean, Moses. Anybody know that? Okay, so to one side if you're in business to consumer, and the other side if you're in business to business.
How about both?
Choose. Doesn't really matter because in the planning you'll work out which is your priority focus.
All right.
So you can stay in either one, and you find maybe later you'll flip.
Okay.
Okay, so you're kind of divided into two parts.
Yeah, B2B.
Okay. Now, as you're divided into online B2B, online B2C, please group yourself into groups of 4 businesses.
Four businesses.
Yeah. So each of you is a business, or if you're dealing with a partner, just need to stand in a little group of 4.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, okay. So one, two.
B2C on one side, B2B on the other. And please just put yourself in a group of 4.
B2B.
Anybody has 3?
Wait, B2B here,
Yeah.
B2C on
Yeah, B2C on that side, and B2B. Could you make it a bit more of a gap?
Anybody has extra people?
You're not sure, just join the group.
Yeah, yeah, just a moment, okay. So you've got 4 and
Anybody has 3?
2. No,
Anybody needs
stop
another
moving.
person?
Okay.
Final.
Yeah, no, so stop moving.
Because they have like extra people, you see.
No, I'm going to move
1, 2,
some
3,
from here
4.
to the side.
Okay. Then probably I'll move back there.
So we got what? We got 4, 2. So I need 2 people from this side who would like to start over there. So I'll pick in a moment. Okay, so I'll just take the 2 at the end. Yep, you and yourself. Okay, cool. So just make sure in groups of 4. How many you got here? 7. Okay, we'll just get into groups of 4 or 3 and we'll. There you go. Solved. Okay, so remember who you are, and you can start introducing yourself, and you guys do the same. We'll have B2C, B2B one side, business to business on the other. You just kind of separate yourselves.
Hi, Christine. You in our group?
Hey, have
Hi,
any questions?
Niklas. Hi, Niklas.
All right.